If it's Monday, the Russian attacks on Ukraine move west, now just miles away from NATO territory in Poland, as the White House considers sending President Biden to Europe to reassure American allies in the region. And President Zelensky prepares to deliver a joint address to Congress this week as a bipartisan group of lawmakers push the White House for more action, including the transfer of fighter jets to Ukraine. Plus, the tragic scenes in Kyiv amid more deadly airstrikes as food, water, and medicine are all running out. I'll speak with Ukraine's youngest member of parliament who's staying in the capital city to fight coming up. Welcome to Meet the Press Daily. I'm Garrett Hake, in for Chuck Todd on a day filled with reminders that this war is likely to intensify and potentially.
If it's Tuesday, the hell of war continues in Ukraine as Russian forces hit civilian targets closer to Kyiv. The number of refugees rises to 3 million people, basically the city of Chicago, and another member of the press is killed. This is President Zelensky urges NATO members to step up their support, send more aid, and force a no-fly zone in an emotional speech to Canadian Parliament this morning, ahead of his address to U.S. lawmakers in Washington tomorrow. Plus, decoding the latest intelligence on Russia and Russian disinformation as the U.S. ramps up its warnings to China about helping Putin. We'll break it down with a former CIA director and a current member of the Senate Intelligence Committee coming up. Welcome to Meet the Press Daily. I'm Chuck Todd. Russia is intensifying its assault on the capital of Kyiv. President Zelensky is intensifying his pleas for help. Welcome to Meet the Press Daily. I'm Chuck Todd. We are going to get right to it because we're awaiting some remarks from President Biden just hours after President Zelensky addressed Congress in quite the emotional speech. In these upcoming remarks, Biden is expected to outline. If it's Thursday, Putin's military advance has largely stalled on the ground in Ukraine as Russian forces ratchet up their brutal attacks on civilians from the air. Could Russia's desperation create an opening to actually end this war? Or are some new atrocities just beginning? This, as the Secretary of State, Antony Blinken, is set to hold a press conference later this hour after President Biden calls Putin a war criminal and the president prepares to speak with China's leader about its role in the conflict. Plus, as Zelensky continues to call for more help from the West, EU's ambassador to the United States will join us. And we're on the ground with a former Ukrainian government official who's still in the war zone right now, trying to help shelter those unable to leave. Good day. Welcome to Meet the Press Daily. I'm Chuck Todd here in Washington, where later this hour we expect some remarks from the Secretary of State, Antony Blinken, on Ukraine. If it's Friday, President Biden speaks with China's President Xi Jinping about the Russian assault on Ukraine as Putin's forces indiscriminately shell civilian targets across the country, new attacks hitting an apartment complex, a theater, and a kindergarten. Plus, my interview with Kyiv's mayor, Vitaly Klitschko, and how he is defending Ukraine's capital against the siege and what he needs to hold the line, as well as the prospect of peace with Putin still in charge. And we'll get an update from an emergency coordinator on the ground grappling with this worsening humanitarian crisis inside Ukraine amid efforts to rush medical supplies to active war zones. Welcome to Meet Press Daily. I am Chuck Todd here in Washington. The White House today is stepping up its efforts to try to isolate Russia a bit more. President Biden speaking with his Chinese counterpart.